Hey guys, how are you? Welcome everybody to the trading room. My name is Saul, glad to be with you. I believe sound is coming through okay. So let's get started over here. Before we get started, please remember we are going to be trading live market conditions. So anything I say here or do here is not meant to be a buy or sell signal. You should not be following along. I want to show you the way I read the charts and I analyze setups and I execute trades and I manage live trades, but we might incur in losses and profits and just all the best. And this is for educational purposes. I want to show you some principles I use and hopefully you can apply them on your own individual situations. So just please keep that in mind when you trading with me here. Okay, with that being said, let's jump into the charts. I'm just not sharing. Let's go there. Okay, let me just walk you through what's going on. We have been, the blue line is the parity level, where we can see the indecision in the market, whether this is going to break to the low side, and we have discussed the implications of that, or we're going to finally make a turn in the market. Meantime, we're expecting an increase of interest rate by the Fed. So of course that brings pressure into the Forex market and more demand to the US. So but we know Europe is going to respond, and I guess also will increase interest rates. So we can see the balance and indecision here in the market. And if we zoom in a little bit more, we're just kind of trapped. We had that last movement and we commented that on that supply. We pushed and we're just stuck. Okay, we've been moving sideways. Tails on the bottom on the dailies. If we zoom in to that, we have bearish days and they're push higher and some movement down and push higher, some movement down and push higher, like trying to keep the Euro USD exchange above parity levels. And this is eventually going to break one way or another. No idea. In the meantime, we're just trapped in that channel, and of course we have some resistance over there, some support over there. We're near support, but when I zoom in to the 5-minute chart, we just had that sell off. So I will be trying to catch the next leg higher. Okay, so we're now forming the next leg lower. So we had this sell off. We are of course at the bottom of the channel. Okay, we're at support, so we expect some buyers now. But even if we're going to retrace on the 5-minute chart, the usually it's not a V recovery. Okay, it's not like sells off and shots up straight up. We usually have some movements. Okay, so it usually goes something like that, a retest of the lows or a pullback, a higher low, and then continuation higher, something like that. So my very next trade on the 5-minute chart would be trying to catch this leg, and I'm just starting very, very small to see where's the turning point. So there was a potential turning point here that failed. That's why I start very, very small. So now I try to identify potential turning points based of supports and resistance on maybe on the 1-minute chart, and I'll try to position myself the best possible. So when the turn happens, I'm well positioned. So I can take trade based off 5-minute chart signals or 1-minute chart signals, and I can start building into my position. And that would be my setup, trying to catch the next leg lower, and that setup is valid all the way up to, you know, that area. So as long as we stay below the parity level right now, I'll be trying to catch that movement. Let's add another one. And that's it, not much more. So we just need to wait and to see the development of price. Right now we had that's a nice pullback on a 5-minute chart. Let's wait and see when the turn happens. Now on a 1-minute chart, we have that level right there, so I might add a little bit more there. We have a little bit of resistance there, some more resistance there. Okay, so all those areas are potential turns in the market. Okay, so I will be trying to wait for the turn on the 1-minute chart and 5-minute chart. And then my target, okay, this movement up, it was a nice reaction, okay, from the seller. So the scalp target and the easy target would be there. Okay, we have this little channel, not much of support there to stop a movement down in case that comes. But then at the bottom part, okay, this area, okay, this what could provide some support. So the easy target is getting out of the trade before the support, before the buyers might be active. So that would be like a scalp target. And then depending on how we get to that point, then I can get more greedy or more conservative, or to decide to choose to swing this. Okay, if I recognize there's a potential break of the support, so there might be a nice continuation, we're trading around this area, so we might break today and we might go all the way down there. So I will see how are we trading in that area, and then I'll decide if I swing or not. So, but those are decisions I make based on future information. I'm a bit early for that, so let's just wait and see. Okay. Are you sure about your stop loss? What is your risk reward ratio? Yeah, so I set a very large, when I'm scalping this way of trading, I know it's not very common to see, but my whole setup is valid all the way through here. But you will not see me carrying a trade all the way to my stop loss. Okay, so now I know I have a turning point, a turn in the market like that. Okay, that's a pivot point. Then I know my stop losses need to be there. Okay, so that's the way. That's the. I never know. I'm building into the turn. Okay, so when this is going up, I don't know where it's going to turn. Now I see the turn, so I can set my stop losses. Okay, I will not leave, and I will not let this trade go above that level. Okay, so now I can place my stop loss in a more logic area, and then you can, if it's important for you, risk rewards. And okay, if I'm taking my profits right here, so I have that's a 3 pip risk, and if I take profits, that's a 13 pip reward. It's a really nice risk reward ratio. But when I'm scalping this way, when I'm scalping off the 1 minute charts, I'm not very concerned about my risk reward. I can tell you when I'm purely okay, if I have an account where I only do this approach to the market, the 1 minute chart and 5 minute charts, I will have a break even or even negative risk reward, but I have a very large risk profit percentage. So that's the way I will compensate for the risk reward. So I'm not concerned. On my long-term trades, I have a more calculated entry and exit, and then I'm more concerned about my risk rewards and the profit potential of the trade and so on. But when I'm just scalping the markets like this, especially when I'm building into a trade without confirmation, I don't take risk reward into account. Okay. Now I was about to close the trade because I see signals of weakness on the sell leg. Okay, on the selling leg, we can see we have in this minute we covered a larger distance than in this minute and this minute and this minute and this minute. So this leg low is starting slowing down. So that's a good area to take profits. Okay, otherwise you are exposed to this kind of movement, which if you want you can leave it on, because the same way this leg, okay, or the movement high didn't go just straight up, the movement down won't be just straight down. Okay, so you need to be prepared for fluctuations here. So if we created kind of maybe a resistance level, okay, right there, so I need to be prepared for this to retest maybe that area before continuing lower. Myself, I'm also happy taking the profit. Okay, right now taking the profit, and when the retest happens and I have confirmation that the retest will push the market lower again, then I will re-enter. But in the meantime, I do not compromise my unrealized profit. Okay, so I bank the trade, I bank the profit, and then if you need, you reallocate that, especially when you're more exposed. Okay, now when I'm only in one trade on, I have no problem, waiting for the retest. But it's just different approaches to what the market can do, or the way you can manage your trades. If you want to be, banking profits and reallocating, or just being prepared for the retest and the continuation lower. We just started the trading, not a lot of prior explanation, guys. So now I took one off when I saw the market's trying to slowing down, and I want to see if we can get to this area, and then I'll see if I take a profit or not. But now this is also a pivot point right here. Okay, so we have this is a high, and that's a lower high. So now a break of that area there would be would open the door for a full movement to the other side. So this is a good place for trailing your stops. Okay, now that you have confirmation of a turning point happening there, and especially when we have this opportunity to continue in lower, and that fail. Okay, instead of having continuation lower here, the bulls came into the market and pushed it higher. So that's a good area to take profits. Okay, and now we need now to wait for a new setup. Okay, now what might happen might be the scenario I drew before. Okay, that we have a leg lower and then a continuation higher. So this might be the leg lower, the one I was trying to catch before we get a new leg higher. Okay, so so let's clean this a little bit. and let's wait for another setup. Okay, now once you reset, you can reevaluate. I'm just opening the charts. I see this price action. What am I seeing, or where do I want to go? I think there was news on the CADs. Let me see if there's anything interesting. Check what was the outcome of that. Okay, so there was less inflation in Canada, so that will cause the Canadian dollar to weaken. That's what we're seeing here. So that might be the trigger for a nice trend up. We'll keep an eye up, open, to see if we start a new trend here and if I can join the bullish movement. Okay, so technically the bias is still okay to the downside. We're still below the most recent supply, which is this area right here. And this movement up wasn't that significant, so there was not a lot of demand to push the market significantly to the upside. Okay, so we had just a retracement and then bearish activity. So I'm still slightly inclined to the downside, but I think before the Fed announcement, we will just have a lot of choppy markets and sideways market. So I will not be very looking for new trends prior to that announcement. But I need to wait. I need to wait for the market to push a little bit higher, and then on the overextension I'll start selling. Right now I don't have a setup. Right now I'm tempted to sell here. I want to see if if there's signals of a false breakout here, and if there is, then I'll look to short the market. Okay, I'll start just with one position. Looks like the market, unless something changes soon, but it's going to start moving like in a compression to the upside. So I'll be trying to take profits inside that channel. Okay. Now that might change. Okay, we might break the resistance and just, you know, start gaining momentum, and I'll need to face the loss. But as long as we don't, you know, suddenly pick momentum, we should be fine. This window is the depth of market, so you get it here. And I don't really use this information here. I just want to have a preset take profit and stop loss. That's it. So right now our resistance, we're holding there, but you can see the tails on you can see the tail on the bottom, on the top side. So I want to see if there's a little bit of sellers active. You know, if I was trying to catch the break, okay, I could place a buy, and most likely the breakout would fail, correct? So I'll try to be in the opposite side of that. And if it does break, I will peel out of those for a loss. Okay. Okay, so let's see if we can have some continuation. So technically my stop loss could be there. Okay, I could place a stop loss there, and it would be a very tight stop loss. But I just don't place it because I don't place the stop loss because a lot of time you get stopped out and then you get a movement you're looking for. Okay, but I do have my mental stop there. So in this scenario, in case I do see the breakout, then I would manually take one of those off for a loss. Okay. Now let's see if we can get a turn. On the 5-minute chart, a turn will happen only at this level. So we need to break that. Okay, now we should get some continuation a little bit. Okay, a bit more. Okay, now I will take one. Now I can try to hold the second one to see if there's a continuation on the 5-minute chart and follow through. Let's see if that happens. Okay, that's the target area on the 1-minute chart, and that's what I took one of. Okay, that's the target area. But I need to expect buyers to be active here like they were last time, correct? So again, I can bank the profit, I can take the 6 big profit right now, or let's see if we can establish the break of this support and to squeeze a little bit more pips. But in days like today, which is not a very trendy day, where on the dailies and hourlies and everything, we're in that consolidation, usually makes more sense to bank the profit and to reallocate. Okay, let's just try to see if we can have it. Okay, now the same way, if this is a support, how many trades, how many times have you tried to to sell the breakout, okay, to catch the breakout of the support of the consolidation? You get stopped out and you get the opposite movement, correct? So expecting this time the market to break the support in my favor, it won't happen very most of the times. And there's no, right now I cannot trail my stop. I cannot place my stop in that area because I'm not allowing the market to do his natural fluctuations and natural movements. So I either take the profit or wait. That I need the market to establish a pivot point, and then I can trail my stop, like it happened last time. Okay, see, buyers are coming. And wait for a new setup. It looks like it's trying to turn on the 5-minute chart. If it breaks, if it actually goes and breaks, then I'll wait for a retest of that area, and then I will sell. Now, what's happening now? That's a perfect example of why did I took profits? Okay, why did I took the profits? And that's a very bad feedback you can give to your brain, okay? Because that one time, because first, there's nothing wrong on taking profits or banking profits. There's always a new setup that you can use the profit you just made to reallocate those. And secondly, because as long as you take a decision supported by or backed by something, that was the right thing to do. Okay, you never know what the market is going to do next. So same way, it's now attempting to break. It could just pick momentum to the upside and go against. Okay, so all those why did, they're useless. Okay, especially about taking profits. It looks like it's trying to really break. I'll see if I can. It's attempting to turn on the 5-minute chart. Pound. Pound looks even better. Looks more bearish. So we are approaching the mid demand area on a 5-minute chart. I don't see it. Let's very significant on the hourlies, but I do see it on the 5-minute chart. So expect pullback from the daily's perspective and the 5-minute chart perspective. This is a nicer movement than this one. So I like this. I like this this setup here. Now I need this support to hold. I cannot sell right now. So I need some buyers to get active here to give me the pullback, so I can sell after the pullback. If we just break that, we will go all the way to the next demand area. But before that, I would like to get a pullback and the opportunity to join. So Alpha Barry, thanks for the heads up. So let's wait for the pullback to come, and we'll short. So we got that supply, that supply, that supply. So in this case, my bias will be to the downside as long as we stay below those levels, and probably that level, but that's a very large distance, 7 pips. So I'll just try to catch a little bit of down momentum. On the 1-minute chart, there's also these levels. Okay, so looks like it's trying to form the pullback on a 1-minute chart. That's a nice bar. Now I need smaller bars. Okay, so I need to start a pullback. That's not enough. Okay, for a pullback I need, I know, a few candles, but I want to see how after around this area, how it slows down and then attempts to turn to the downside. And on the 1-minute chart, now we are reacting from a deeper demand. Let's see how that reaction is. Okay, so we're reacting now on the previous demand. Now last time price reacted from here, it made that movement. Okay, so I need to be prepared for that. That movement would be similar to the area we're seeing here, we're trying to cover. Okay, so that's okay. Now you see how the bulls are getting active. Every time there's an attempt to go down, the bulls push it back up. So if we're reacting from a strong back mid demand, bulls shouldn't have problem breaking this resistance on the 1 minute chart. Okay, so I need to expect the break of that level, of that resistance. And I need to be careful, because if that happens, not sure there's a lot here to stop the break higher all the way to next supply. Okay, so I need to be careful with that. Pound dollar is also more volatile than Euro USD, so I need to be more, I need to space right my entries. So what direction we break. Momentum is down, but we are reacting now to previous demand, all demand. So let's see. Okay, break and continuation. Attempting to break the lows, attempting to turn. We need to see follow through. Market should test these levels. And last time it was there was reaction to the upside. So that's a good target area. Okay. Now let's see. Okay, that's a good target area. That's the lows. Now market might break the lows and continue lower all the way to next demand area. Okay, but it might happen, might never happen during the day. Okay, I have no clue. So on a trending scenario, on a trending context, I do let my trades run for longer. Okay. But on range contexts, I prefer taking profits. Okay, and I think the euro is a good example. Okay, if I was, I don't know, I believe I was short here and then here, and if I'm waiting with those shorts to break these lows, I will be still in the trade instead of taking those profits. Okay, and the break of the lows might never happen during the whole day. So it's important to understand the context. Okay, now I cannot sell. I'm in a bad position for selling. I could buy, but if I buy, I need to be willing to hold my trade, all above. In case I buy and this mid demand breaks, we'll be going all the way to that demand, so my stops would be there. I would need to place them there. So I think my best setup is to wait for a deeper pullback and to sell again. Okay, to wait for a movement up to these areas and sell off that area. And if the market comes to this area, okay, I shorted the very first turn, the very first turning point. But if the market had come to this area and then I short, then well, my target could be the same target. Okay, this same area could be the target now from a different entry distance. Okay. Now, if the market breaks the support, then I'll wait for the break, the retest of the breaking area, and then I'll short again. Bit slow, the market. This movement, this leg, is already 8 pips. The average is around 10, so this is when around that area and about to face this resistance, we should get some sellers. I'll try to catch that next movement. And we're coming just from this support, so there shouldn't be a lot of buying momentum. Now I hadn't best entry there because as we broke this resistance here, the market might test that and continue higher. So the best would be entering around there and having my targets there. That would be the easy target, okay, before the support. So let's see, once the retest happens, the reaction to the low side happens, how it happens, and if I need to adjust my entries or my targets. Okay, now I'm getting to this area. I'm fading. Okay, I'm getting without confirmation. Okay, I need to close one maybe. Around that area, I would like to get some confirmation to sell. If that breaks, I'll need to do some fixing on these trades, which is fine. I was expecting the market to slow down as it got closer to the resistance, but now it's picking momentum. I need to be careful with that. Because like it wants to make a push higher, and if it does, I'll need to lighten my position. I have a mental stop on the break. I will just take partial losses. I'll lighten my position. I have then more supply here, so my bias is intact and it's in there, so it's still to the bearish side. So I shouldn't have problem on fixing those and getting into profit, but I just don't want to hold on the break on 3 positions. So I'll scale out of 1. Okay, I'll take the loss on one of those. So I need a turn on the 5-minute chart. If it's going to happen, it would be a a break of around those levels, and those I think that's like a break-even area. So I'll peel off maybe one, and then I'll see if there's continuation lower, and I will wait for the others. But my first entry, the one I was just taking when I was fading, now turns out to be a not great entry, so I need to take that out of the books. So if I get a push lower, I'll try to take my lowest position at break even. Then I can try to let the other ones run. Okay, a break of that, it's only a turn on the 5-minute chart, so it's good for the trade. Let's see if there's some follow through. And if I was feeling that like uncomfortable with the setup, I can always take the close everything and reallocate. It's just it's a small, would be a small loss. So watch closely. I think we'll wrap up, guys. The market's a bit slow, but we had some nice setups. Most of them, I think we took profits on most of them. And it's just a process, guys. What I do on all my accounts, I just do it with larger sizes. If it was confusing, just keep coming, and you will slowly pick more and more concepts. And thanks for coming. Thanks for staying, and I'll see you next week. Actually, next week, guys, there's going to be some holidays over here. So stay tuned. We will publish when are we hosting trading rooms, and when there will be no trading rooms. Okay, we have like a 2-week period of some days, some holiday days, during the week. So just stay tuned for that. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Till next time. Bye bye.